So Larry Wheels fucked around and got Rhabdo, but what is Rhabdo? How would he have gotten it? How might you get it? And if you get it, how would it be treated? Let's dive into that. Rhabdomyolysis, or rhabdo for short, is a condition characterized by the rapid breakdown of muscle tissue. It's most commonly caused when people overexert themselves, like if you've been sitting on the couch for the past 3 years and one day you suddenly up and decide to go join an advanced CrossFit class. It can also be caused by other things like certain drugs or toxins or crush injuries. As a foot and ankle surgeon, I've seen it numerous times, usually after a crush injury, after a car accident, or when people get compartment syndrome. Interestingly, the oldest case of rhabdo is actually found in the Bible. In the book of Numbers, there's a story about the Jews getting very sick after consuming a lot of quail. Quails eat hemlock, and hemlock's very toxic to humans, so it passes over in their meat when we're eating it. Hemlock is toxic to our muscle tissue and basically causes rhabdo. So from a mechanistic standpoint, what exactly is going on here? Well, to understand that, we kind of have to dive into a little bit of muscle physiology, so just bear with me. In normal physiology, muscles normally have low intracellular sodium and higher levels of intracellular potassium. When a muscle contracts, calcium passes from what's called the sarcoplasmic reticulum into the cytoplasm. And this movement of calcium is all mediated through ATP. And ATP is basically energy. So when an injury occurs to the muscle, this ATP is basically depleted, which leads to all of these electrolytes getting completely out of balance. That intracellular sodium goes up, and so does calcium, and wherever sodium goes, water follows. So it brings a lot of fluid into the tissue and into the muscle where it really shouldn't be. This electrolyte imbalance and all of this fluid in the muscle causes it to just contract and stay contracted for a long period of time. And all these waste products being released leads to an inflammatory response in the area. Neutrophils show up to try to kind of help and clean up, and they release what's called reactive oxygen species, or ROS for short. But these oxidative species also contribute to more muscle breakdown. So now you've got this vicious cycle occurring. And what's more, with all this fluid in the area and the muscle swelling, the muscle can push against surrounding structures like fascia or retinacula or bone and cause what's called compartment syndrome, where basically the muscle is being pushed on and it's blocking blood flow to the area, causing muscle necrosis, and then you guessed it, more inflammation and more of this terrible cascade. With the muscle breaking down, it's going to release a lot of these byproducts like myoglobin, potassium, uric acid, and creatinine kinase. All of these compounds can basically wreak havoc throughout the body, neurologically, cardiovascularly, and most importantly, renally, or in the kidneys. Our brain, all of our nerves, our heart rely on a really delicate balance of electrolytes, so when these are out of whack, all of those are basically at risk. All these other byproducts need to be filtered through the kidney, and they form these things called casts, and these casts kind of back up or block the kidney, if you will. This blockage of the kidney is going to cause more inflammation. That inflammation puts a lot of strain on the kidney and can lead to what's called tubular necrosis. And these tubules are basically these pipes that line the kidney, and they're going to necrose or kind of die off, which is going to lead to decreased kidney function. As you can imagine, that's not good. So how do you know if you have rhabdo? Well, the symptoms kind of vary. It can just be lightheadedness, like Larry said that he had, extreme fatigue, extreme muscle soreness, likely accompanied with a brown tea or cola-colored urine. Your doctor would then need to pull your blood and look for levels of creatinine kinase, and elevated levels of creatinine kinase over a certain threshold basically give us that diagnosis of rhabdo. The main treatment for this is basically just to push a lot of fluids, usually in the form of just normal isotonic saline. Depending on the severity of the condition, some adjunct treatments may be warranted. Say if you have extremely high potassium, we may need to introduce some insulin to help that potassium to lower, but that will all depend on the severity of the individual's condition. Most young, healthy individuals like Larry will likely recover pretty well after just being hydrated, and their kidneys will likely recover from this acute kidney injury. So if you too fucked around and went too hard in the gym and you feel like you've got extreme muscle soreness and fatigue and confusion, and definitely if you're pissing brown, I would seek medical attention ASAP. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little informational on rhabdo, and I will see you guys in the next one.